Hey, you got AKA the Weathered Soul here on the Weathered Soul podcast, and joining me every week as usual is DJ Dougie. How you doing, DJ Dougie? What's going on? See, I got it right this time.
DJ Dougie's doing great.
We're back here on the Weathered Soul podcast for another hour of just two old guys sitting around telling you to get the hell off their grass. And we're just having a good time here. We got a great weekend this weekend. Spring is here. Spring came alive on Saturday, and we are now in the spring fling going into summer, man. We're sliding through. We're going to go into the orange tier come Wednesday. All things are going on in California, dude. How's it going, man? Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I finally made it into the ranks where I can say, get the hell off my lawn and not look like a pervert.
I love it, man.
I go out there in my underwear with my cane. Hey, get off my lawn.
If you did not know that it was Dougie's birthday yesterday, he is a nice, spry, young 60 years old, and 60 is the new 30 until your feet hit the floor in the morning, and then you feel it.
Yeah, right. It's been 10 years since I think I remember waking up without something hurting.
and all kinds of people chimed in to wish you happy birthday. I posted it on Facebook because I know that Dougie is not on the social media places and stuff, so I kind of posted it for him and just said, hey, my friend Dougie, big happy birthday to my good friend DJ Dougie. I love you, man. Hope
I appreciate
filled
that.
With that 60-year-old stuff. The really 60 is the new 30, and until your feet hit the floor. So,
well, if you stand on your head, it says 09.
And Nicole Oldermatt says, "Hey, have a great birthday, Dougie." And a couple more people came in and in the Pit of Your Stomach podcast group, and they did the same thing.
Wow.
And John Odermatt gave you a thumbs up, and they're just seen by almost everybody. Pam Cook, Frank Felice, Jody Corona, Susan Popham, Donna Dutton, Daniel Johnson, Barbara Popham, Sergio, Kim Moeller, Steve Castillo, Chris Pascal Cook, Leland Mason, Doug, Tom Drake. We all know Tom Drake. Stuart Roberts and Hogg, Lori Biasca, April Mason, Christina Amara Prexis, Heather Russell Barnett, and John Odermatt all send you their well wishes. And
thank you,
I hope
guys.
you had a good time, man. I know I am so sorry, but you knew what kind of situation I had going on yesterday, so I missed your great big hoopla out at the winery. I know you had a good time
big
out
hoopla.
there. But,
yeah. You should have seen it. There's fireworks and everything, man.
But,
no, it's funny because I said something to a friend of mine from back east earlier in the day that we went into lockdown like a week or a week and a half before my birthday last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it was like everybody was so freaked out. Just like my birthday came and went. My wife made me a chocolate cake. I ate it. That was it. So I said, I missed 59, man. I want a do-over. I think I deserve a redo. I want to recount.
I think we all want to recount, man. But I missed my 60th birthday last year, and look at my hair. My hair's all grossed out and everything. But I missed my 60th this year. I'm glad you got to celebrate your 60th this year, man. Like I said, you came over. We had our pleasantries and stuff, man. And,
and I can't wait, guys.
I can't wait to get you your present. It's on order at Amazon, of course. Bezos has a hold on it because they're out of stock with it right now. But I've got you an awesome present, dude. You're
right
gonna
on.
love it.
Thanks.
And I can't wait for you to see it. It goes right in with your persona, man, and I love it. But it was great. It was a great weekend for me too. And I got a lot of stuff done in my backyard. You know that I'm working hard on my backyard right now, trying to get it ready to at least have some kind of a concert venue back there again this year. We'll see how long this orange cheer goes on, because we're going back into the orange cheer. Those of you that are listening to us nationwide don't know that we're in a tiered system. We have a 4-tiered system. I think it's purple, red, and orange and green. I think I'm not even sure what the.
I have no idea.
It was kind of like the DEFCON levels in military and stuff. But
but it just didn't make sense because it's like they did. I don't know who did the I don't know who did the color scheme on it, but it's usually like, green, yellow, orange, red, and then like purple, and it's like, what is purple? It's between, that's a mixture of orange and red. I mean, green and blue.
It's a libertarian color. But no, we go back into the orange tier on Wednesday, which means that the restaurants down here in Santa Clara Valley will open up to, I think, given the more capacity, they're going to start loosening up some of the stuff.
Like
kids
50%.
are going to be, kids are going to be starting to go back to school, and
some kids already have.
Yeah, and we'll see how it works, man. We'll see how it goes. I know that Gilroy High, I think, is either starting at the end of the month or maybe some of them are already started. I'm not sure. But we know that there's been something
going to get bad again.
Traffic's already bad. Oh, let me talk. Jeez,
I brought it up.
Segue. You brought it up.
Yeah, I did.
You
on
heard
purpose.
me from before. Me and Doug, we were talking about this before. People on the freeways around here. I mean, people in California drive crazy anyway. I mean, we're freaking nuts out here. I mean, we use our streets as racetracks and stuff like that. But nothing can be further than the truth than other states that use their medians as traffic lanes. And I knew this had to be a guy from out of state or something like that. But I'm driving down the road on Thursday morning, about 5:30, 6 o'clock is when I get there. It's dark. Okay, so I'm in the commuter lane, of course, by myself, and Dougie hates that when I do that, but because I probably should go to jail for doing it in the commuter lane with just me in my car. But I see an officer with his lights on come on behind me, and I pull on over, and he passes everybody by, and we're good to go. We're fine, So made sure that he was a good mile ahead of us, and then everybody who does like me, we get back into the fast lane. So we're traveling down the road, and all of a sudden on my left side, which is the median side between southbound and northbound, here comes another car driving down the median at about an 85 to 95 mile an hour clip, because I was doing 75 in fast.
That's amazing. I've seen that happen before too.
It was unbelievable. And this guy went a long way. I mean, he went, I sat there and looked at him and watched until he finally, when he started passing cars, people just started, it was immediate braking, because people were just going, oh my God, what is this idiot doing? And if you ever drove a California freeway in the last, 8 years, that there's nothing but trash and crap that's in the middle median. So
everything gets blown over.
Oh, I am surprised that this guy did not have a major accident or cause some kind of major incident. It was just totally wow. I had never seen that happen. Must have been a leased car. Yeah, had to admit, because the little dips in there for the drainage and stuff. I mean, those are no doubt. Those are good, 6-8 inches deep.
Those will loosen your fillings out.
Those will definitely rattle your brain in the morning. But
I had that happen to me. It was a couple of years ago. I was actually moving over to get off at Maston, and that part of the road is so bad that only really the cars that are exiting get over there, right?
It's a gravel road.
From really from Tenet all the way to 10th Street. Almost nobody rides in that lane unless they have to. So anyway, I moved over into that lane, and it was open. So somebody probably way back saw it open and just floored it and said, "I'm passing all these dumb shits on the on the right, and just I'm going right." And then I moved over to get into the exit. All of a sudden, this guy, he didn't even slow down. He just went right over into the gravel, zip right past me, right back in, like like it was normal. But I've seen driving like that in other countries.
Oh,
I mean, like in Italy, that's kind of you wouldn't do that on the freeway. On the freeway, they just put their headlights on, put their left blinker on, and ride on your bumper until you move right. But at the stoplights, they go all the way up on the sidewalks and all two or three cars into the oncoming lanes to have a drag race at the stoplight to get across the intersection back into 2 lanes. It's like 8 cars across.
Well, I do know in other states that they have these highway laws and stuff like that they actually use the medians on both sides, as another lane for their traffic and stuff like that. So that immediately came to my mind, and it was something that you just don't see in California. You don't see people driving down the medians. I mean, if you do, they're drunk. But you just never know what you're going to see here in California.
Or something else. One morning on my way, I was driving. I think I was driving up to Cupertino or somewhere up there. Up 85, and this blue pickup truck. I think it was a Ford. I can't remember. Anyway, blue pickup truck comes flying by. Single driver in the commuter lane, and traffic wasn't that bad. And I could see this truck, a quarter mile ahead of me, and it bounces off of the K rail, goes all the way across, hits the K rail, bounces back into the lane, keeps going, doesn't miss it. Yeah. So I'm watching this, and all the way between like Morgan Hill, and I probably lost her around 87 on 85. I could see this girl like probably every 15 seconds. Going right over, bouncing off of the K rail. In some places it's a long ways. Between, you got some grass and you got some pavement, and then you hit the K rail. In some places it's especially on 85, it's pretty close. It's less than a car, So yeah, and then it just bang, bouncing off the K rail. Bang! I can imagine what's going on.
Just unbelievable.
It's like, are they falling asleep? Or are they hysterical? Or are they that drunk?
Come to California, you can experience all this stuff that we have. But hey, we want to welcome you to the Weathered Soul podcast, man, and we're just glad you're here. The numbers are actually going up. I had a boohoo incident a couple months ago where I just didn't want to do the podcast anymore. I didn't have any motivation for it. I wasn't getting any listeners, but we're pop backing up in listenership, and people are watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit that share button, hit that like button, and just go ahead and ring the bell there, because we have a website there. If you're there, you know that we have a Weathered Soul podcast website. There it is, Weathered Soul Liberty Network, where you can get all of our past issues of the Weathered Soul podcast and every other thing that we've done lately. So I mean, that's we've got all kinds of podcasts and morning drives and just there's playlists along all the way around here. So I've got a couple of different playlists. How about this? In the Pit of My Stomach, Bruce for Liberty podcast, all kinds of things that you can go there. You can get there. Just go to the Weathered Soul Liberty Network and then hit that share button and hit that like button if you're sitting there watching us right now. We also have a Facebook website called AKA The Weathered Soul. This is where all the listeners come and get together, and they will post their comments, their memes, and all kinds of other good stuff there. We had a little pretentious podcast last week, which will drop immediately after this podcast, because I dropped them a week after we do them, and this one will drop actually a couple days from now, but I'm going to drop last week's from this week. And we had a pretentious one last week that where I kind of admonished some of you guys, so hopefully I didn't lose too many listeners from that. But you can get there to the Weathered Soul Liberty Network, the AKA Weathered Soul site, just by typing in AKA The Weathered Soul, and you can get to the Weathered Soul podcast site, and you can join in the fun over there. Also, we have the Weathered Soul podcast website itself from anchor.fm. And all you got to do is go to anchor.fm, the Weathered Soul podcast, and you can get there. We have a support button now. Not only are you, because you're listening right now on anchor.fm, you are actually supporting us right now just by listening to us. But if you wanted to support us a little more, we have a support button. And those support buttons will get you lots of little things. And I'm telling you right now, it'd be great. Support by donating a little 99 cents a month, where you can find a great deal like that. I don't know. But for 99 cents a monthly donation, you will get a weekly newsletter. And I love to write. I love to opinionate. And that'll be from yours truly, AKA The Weathered Soul. And that's just for 99 cents. And I might even send you a picture of Dougie, DJ Dougie, because he's like the most popular Weathered Soul out there. And for $50, I won't send it. Okay, so
yeah, there you go. That's better.
And we have a $4.99 a month tier. The $4.99 a month tier, it won't only get you the weekly newsletter. I me or Doug will answer your comments and questions during the Community is Unity segment. Community is Unity segment is usually the last couple of minutes of the podcast where me and Dougie gush over each other and tell everybody, how beautiful community and unity is, because that's really what our podcast is all about. We like to lampoon the news, and we like to joke around, and we like to get into debates, and we like to argue, and we like to just bounce ideas off of each other. But basically, really, community is unity. And when we get to that segment, we will answer your questions and comments. That's if you send us $4.99 a month. And for you guys that are a little bit more big spenders out there, we got a $9.99 a month tier. A $9.99 a month tier will get you a 30-second read to promote your product, your website, or your business one time a month. $9.99. You can't get advertisement for any cheaper than $9.99 a month. I'm telling you right now. I'm giving you a deal right now. If you want to come in, you want to do a bigger deal, or you want to do a video presentation or something like that, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But I'll read your ad copy, or Dougie will read your ad copy. One of us will read your ad copy once a month. That'll be $9.99 a month. And I don't know if you can cancel anytime. I haven't figured that one out yet. Dougie asked me if you could cancel anytime.
Oh, just stop paying. You'll be canceled.
Just stop paying. You canceled. But we want to welcome you to the Weather Soul podcast. You can get us on anchor.fm/The Weather Soul podcast, and you can see us here every Monday night, streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. And we just love to have you here every week. And like I said, share the show if you like it, and give us a 5-star rating and a comment over on YouTube. And we will be most grateful to you. It would rate 5 stars. Yeah, 5 stars.
Oh, anything less than 5 is a failure, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we don't want to fail. But actually, iTunes is still the number one podcast catcher, and they're the ones that actually move podcasts up and down the charts. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you listen to them. I listen to a lot of a lot of other podcasts on Stitcher and Radio Play. There's a couple of different podcatchers out there, but the way that podcasts go up and down the charts are through iTunes. So we would appreciate it if you guys went out and give us a 5-star rating. It would be fantastic. Leave us a comment, leave us a question. And if you do that, that's the cheapest way to get a question answered, is just leave us a 5-star review. Right? Is that right? Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I'll even get Dougie on it. Ask a science question. Dougie's a big science guy, man. So
for 5 stars, we might even do some research.
So we're gonna start off with the Bruce for Liberty segment of the show tonight, and because I was really, really intrigued. I mean, we had a very raucous podcast last week. I was very bitter about something that a very good friend of mine said, and I had to admonish not just him, but everybody who was posting this stuff. And then after I got done with that, we kind of went on with the show. And we started, and I'd asked Doug to start, studying up about. Well, he knows about liberty. I mean, he's from the East Coast. Who doesn't know about freedom and liberty if you're not from the East Coast and born and raised
at
there?
Least the old-fashioned kind.
The old-fashioned kind. So we got into a discussion about liberty and freedom, because I love liberty and freedom. I live and I eat it and I breathe it, and I do that every day. And Dougie brought up a quote that was very, very. I mean, hit me like it hit me in the face. It really did. And Dougie just says, liberty means the quality of your freedom. And I kind of want to expand on what we were talking about, because it's a very interesting concept to me. I was a member of the Libertarian Party. I kind of side myself with the Libertarians, but then again, I'm more of an independent. I kind of like to go my own way. But the Libertarian Party is actually trying to find their way, because they're not really a strong party. There's no third party right now that's doing a whole lot, and so Libertarian Party is trying to find their way. And I think one of the ways to do that is to start throwing away this one-tiered kind of system that they want to go to, and start listening to some of their members, which I'm still a member of the Libertarian Party, And we got to throw away some of the stuff that's so hardline. I mean, some Republicans are hardline, Democrats are hardline, and then there's splinters all over the place. Well, that's kind of what makes a party function and grow. I mean, so when Dougie said that this liberty is the quality of your freedom, it hit me right in my face and right in my heart, because that's kind of what I was looking for. Can you expand on that, Doug? Just off the top of your head?
Well, yeah, sure. It's it has, when you say freedom, it's you got to look at it in different from different points. Okay, it's the liberty is like the quality of the level of your freedom, right? So it's not like freedom of everything or liberty from everything. It's really like liberty to make your own choices on how you want your life to proceed, without you could say whatever, big brother, whatever. It's like kind of like when your parents kick you out of the house. Right. They're still there for you, but they want you to figure out how to make it on your own. So it's that kind of a thing, right? It's like the degree, like liberty is the degree of your freedom. Like you're free, baseline, and then as liberties are added, you could say that you're freer, right?
Exactly.
Liberties are removing burdens from you.
The beauty is that we're not all quite equal in our liberty or our freedom here in the United States, and I think in the whole world. And what I say about that is because we all have an attitude of what we think is freedom. We all have an attitude of what we think is liberty. But in reality, depending on what your social economic status is, even your ethnicity, we can talk about racism if you want to, but there's all kinds of factors that kind of mix into how freedom and liberty mix in together as a socioeconomic plateau that we have out there, which everybody participates in. And some people have more freedom than others, but some people that have less freedom might have more liberty because they feel that quality of what they have is more than what the quality of what I have. I mean, I like to get up in the morning and say that I'm free from everything that I don't want to participate in. Well, I am, because I make a personal choice every day to get up and just do kind of what I want.
Right.
But I have to live by the laws and the rules and the restrictions and the boundaries of every place that I go to.
Right, but you also have to look at the other side of what liberty means, and it's let's say
that's
what they have here in the definition is kind of I don't know. I'm going to say or cold steel. So I'll try to humanize it, but it's
go ahead.
It's immunity. It says here by prescription or by grant of privilege. Okay. Permission to do what you want within a specified limit, right? So I mean, so a liberty is something that's defined. It's got a start and an end to it. It's like you have the liberty to do this. Yep. You have the liberty to do that. You have the liberty to do those. It's not anything you can think of by definition.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people just kind of get that wrong. They look at us libertarians sometimes and they go like, well, you just don't want to follow the rules, and you just want to have the wild, wild west, and nothing can be further from the truth. I mean,
you just don't want the rules that you don't like to apply to you.
No, we don't want the
rules. Sorry.
No, I think it's we just don't want the rules that are oppressive, that puts an artificial barrier in between me and you being able to achieve those things that other people have achieved that have put those barriers in front of us. And a lot of those barriers have been done by not only the corporations that have the clout and the money to do that, but also the governments that collude in between them to be able to put those barriers in front of us.
And that's the big thing, because a liberty is a positive. Okay.
Right.
It's a positive, you might say a positive gift or a positive enjoyment of your social beliefs without having like a despotic government telling you what you must believe or what you are believing.
Right. Right.
Yeah. You're believing this or you're dying. Yeah. There's no liberty there.
Because believe me, I'm telling you, with this, we've gone through what it's been, just over a year since we've been locked down. I'm thinking that we're probably a year and a couple of days since we got locked down. I walked into a Black Bear diner and sat down and ate a meal for the first time in a year. I've been inside a restaurant. The last time I was inside a restaurant was March 16th of 2020, and that was at Hula's in Santa Cruz. And I went to a Black Bear diner for breakfast on Saturday morning, and I was surprised. I mean, I went in there and I went like, I didn't know what to expect. You had to wear a mask in. And then I guess there's this magic circle that happens once you sit down and you take your mask off and there's no COVID in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you can't see the shield they put up when you sit down.
The shield they put up. But it was something that I enjoyed so much. It was surreal because I haven't done it in a year. I was excited to do it, but I was apprehensive at the same time, where you're just going like, you don't know.
You're sitting there going, wait a minute, where's the remote?
But they sat us down, a table of 4. We actually had the middle table in the dining room, but apparently either people are still not real comfortable with coming out and going out to restaurants. So the place wasn't very crowded. There was nobody waiting to get in. You came in and they sat you down, but we had like 12 feet between us and the next people. I mean, where there was booths, where you have a line of booths, they would sit somebody one in a booth and then 2 booths over, and then every third booth. That's what they had. That's what they had going on. So there's 2 booths between you and the next couple.
So what would you say, about 25% capacity? 1 out of every 4 booths?
Yeah, maybe. And then we were in the center tables. There was a couple of center tables, and we were the only one in the center table of 4 that were there. And then there was another room with another table of 4, and they had 4 tables in there, and they were just sitting. That's how they were sitting people. So I felt very safe. I mean, I was able to take my, once you stand up, you had to put your mask back on. But I mean,
and they don't want you swapping tables either. Like, they don't want you like sitting down at that table and talking for a while, and then going 3 tables over, sit down and talk for a while. Yeah, they don't let you do that. Do they?
But no, I mean, it was very enjoyable. I've been golfing, actually, the whole time since we've been locked down. So I mean, the golf courses have been open. They've had different tiers of how they were acting. I actually got to ride with Bob this weekend, so we actually shared a cart. That was
as long as you trust the people you're with,
we shared a cart for the first.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let you do that before. This is like totally
everybody had their own cart. Before.
Yeah, everybody had their own cart before, and now we're in this new tier. Now they're letting you, as long as they were in your social bubble.
Yeah,
your social bubble, you can do that. So
did they make you do that, or did you do that on your own choice?
We did that on our own choice. We had a
really?
choice. Yeah, we had a choice. I know where you're getting at.
I'd rather have my own cart. Bob
is in our social circle, and we all love Bob.
No, of course. No, I'm not digging Bob. Come on, man. Give me a break.
Anyhow, it was, but the quality of I felt, and I was thinking about what you said, and I think the quality of my freedom actually went up because of the fact that things have been so pushed down and locked down, and the way I feel about it has been unfairly done. I mean, we've had this discussion a billion times before. We beat this dead horse to death, but I mean, with the way that some things are essential and some things aren't, it was an unfair system. And I think that the liberty that we had in California was very, very low quality over the last year, and at a time, when we had the second surge, I think that really went south. I mean, that really kind of went bad. So, I just feel that the quality of my freedom went up this weekend. I was very happy in it, and I won my golf tournament. So hey, go figure. it was a great time, but yeah, man, I
well, that's good.
Yeah. And I know you guys have been venturing out a little bit now, and that's kind of cool. I'm glad to hear that, and glad to see it going on, and I just really hope and pray that if we hit a third wave or whatever, let's all be. I think what I want to say to everybody out there and all our listeners that are out there is just take some personal responsibility. Really, I mean, what does it take to wear a mask in the store? It really doesn't take much to wear a mask in the store. I don't put my mask on until I hit that door. But I mean, I wear it in the store. And then I take it off when I get off, because, you're not going to get COVID outside. I mean, yes, probably some people got COVID outside. Big deal. But for the most part, don't make a scene in the store. Don't make a scene in a bank. I mean, you see too many people out there just making scenes and stuff like that. Look at what's happening in Miami, Florida. They had to shut down Miami, Florida because people were out there. These weren't students. This is the thing that got me, is that they weren't even students out there. There were a bunch of people, bunch of fucking yahoos who said, "Hey, Florida's an open freaking, wild, wild west," and it's not. Believe me, I love DeSantis. I think that guy did an excellent job over the coronavirus for his state, and I think it just went well. I mean, they have one of the oldest populations in the states, and I think he did a great job running the state. And then you get a bunch of yahoos from out of state coming in and thinking it's just a freaking wild, wild west out there. And then we're going to see, like you said, Doug, in 2 weeks, we're going to see what happens and see if you got some kind of a spike going on when, they go home. I'm not a COVIDiot. I'm not one of those people that are running around with the tinfoil hat on and going like the sky is falling, because it's not. And then when you had Abbott in Texas that opened up the state, a couple of weeks ago. We haven't seen that spike there, but what you did find out is that there's some people that are responsible, and they went in, they did their business with their mask or without their mask, because they're not requiring masks. But there are a lot of people that even more people are wearing masks, because
it should be interesting to see what happens in a couple of weeks.
We will,
because
we will.
All those kids are coming down from states to go to Florida and to go to Texas for spring break.
But
they're all partying with each other. And they're all going to go back home.
Yeah.
All right. So it's going to be about 3 or 4 weeks from now. We'll see if there's a spike or not. Because if there is, we can say that it was the stupid kids that did it.
Yeah.
I was talking to my sister.
And it's always some stupid kids.
Yes, I was talking to my sister in Florida yesterday, and trying to get the lowdown on stuff. And she's already she got her second vaccine, I don't know, probably a week or so ago. She's a year old. Well, she's 19 months older than me.
Hold on.
Okay, no problem. I'll keep going. Anyway, so she said that things in Florida were okay, but the spring break thing is a little bit crazy. The older people in the neighborhoods, they're all being really cautious. People in her little community, it's like a 60 and older community, something like that. They're all being, cautious and following all the rules and being smart and so forth. It's interesting to see what happens. It really is, because we have to, we have to watch out for each other, and that's the main thing. It's, even if I feel healthy and I think to myself, I've got a good immune system. I can handle it if I get sick. No worries. If you say that to yourself, you don't know. You really don't know for sure, and you don't know who you're going to give it to, and that's really, really tough. Well, I think Bruce had to take off for a family emergency. He's got his geriatric mom with him, and they're trying to take care of things, and I'm not sure if he got called away. He's back. You okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
good.
A little minor emergency.
Yeah. Well, I explained to everybody that, first I answered your question as long as I could. And then I explained to everybody that you got your mom visiting, and
guys. So what's happening here? And I hate to turn the show around, but here's where we have to turn the show around. Is that I do have an elderly mom, 90 years old, and we've recently had to move her out of her home that she had on my sister's lot, because there comes a time when that your parents just can't live by themselves anymore. They can do everything for themselves, but they just can't live by themselves anymore. They have to have somebody there, because right now it's an issue about, it's not when, or it's not if, it's when. And one of the worst things that happen to old people right now is falling, and because once you fall, your bones are brittle and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, the bone will heal. The problem is that when you're sedentary and you can't do anything and stuff like that, that's when all the little things start coming in, and one of the biggest killers of elderly people is pneumonia. And like I would say, probably even more than 50% of people that break their hips, are immobile and stuff like that, develop pneumonia from just having that happen. So my mom had just she bit into a cookie. It went down the wrong pipe, and she was choking. My daughter was out there giving her the Heimlich maneuver. We got it all covered. She's okay. She's resting. She got some water down her. She's doing fine. But it's been
scary.
Quite a change here. It's very scary. I mean, to be involved in, with Anthony, for the 33 years that we had him here, and being able to care for him the way we did. And now we have to care for my mom, in relatively the same way. I mean, I have another 2 siblings, and right now what we're doing is we're doing a 3-week swap off with my mom, and she goes, each place 3 weeks, and we get 6 weeks off, and of course, so she's here with us for 3 weeks, and you just you've got to keep an eye on them. I mean, they're not like their babies. I mean, she gets up and she does her things, and she wants to be independent, and make her food, and but we do a lot of things for her, and it's just one of those things. If you have an elderly person, an elderly parent out there, and you need to do it, you got to do it. You got to step up. You got to step up as a family, and you've got to take care of your parents. I mean, they took care of you for the first 18 years of your life. Take care of them for the last couple of years of theirs. So that's where I was, and that's what happened. And she's doing okay. So we can move on with the show. So, but anyway,
right on. Okay. So last thing we were talking about was Florida, and while you're gone, I told everybody, I talked to my sister down there, and she's, she basically said, the older people, like in the community she lives in, which is, I think it's 60 and older, are being cautious. They're following the health guide officials and all that stuff. Most of them have their vaccines already. Blah 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 blah. My niece is a teacher in Florida, and she was a little stressed out because they're opening schools back up, but she hadn't been vaccinated yet. But then I guess they had changed that, so she got her vaccination, and schools are open. She's teaching. There's so far no problems. But and talking to her too, the remote learning thing was so hard on the teachers, and then they started opening schools up, and it was like double time. It was like do in-person teaching during the day, and then put together lessons for the next day for the online students, and then try to like monitor the online between between courses of the in-school stuff, and that was even worse than anything.
Right.
Yeah. See, one, the online learning was a horrible answer.
It
was better than nothing.
Really, it was really a horrible answer.
The in-person had to be done safer, had to be done safely, but the transition between the two of them was a bloody nightmare.
Yeah,
I mean, a bloody nightmare.
I'm telling you, the studies and the data that's coming out now on, I just want to talk about the lockdowns for a minute, and was a terrible idea. I mean, absolutely terrible. I have read several reports after report after report about the CDC and WHO having a pandemic playbook that they had for decades and decades and decades. They've been working on it and working on it and working on it. And when this pandemic hit, they threw it out the window because all the studies had said that lockdowns do not work. If they would have not locked down, I don't think that you would have had this great big debate about masks. I mean, I don't think anybody would have batted an eye about doing masks and stuff like that. But it was just one thing after another. I mean, look at the Asian population as far as across the world. When every winter, and I've been working in the Asian community all my life. I live in the high tech. That's the business that I live in. And every year they're wearing masks. I mean, almost, from September to from September to March, you can see most Asian people that are responsible either have a mask on if they're not feeling well or whatever. They'll still come to work, but they're wearing masks. Yeah. So I just don't think that we would have had such a hissy fit over masks, because basically, I think the masks were the secondary things of the frustration. I think the lockdown of everything, as far as they wanted to do, was just detrimental to anything because of just the data that has come out. Yeah,
that's one set of data, and that's your opinion. There's a whole nother set of data and another set of opinions that say the opposite. So
right. I mean, we're never going to get the right data from anywhere. But
the only way to find out would be to next pandemic, don't lock down and see how many more people die.
Yeah,
because I think a lot. I personally, I'm on the opinion that a lot more would.
I'm personally on the opinion
I think the lockdown was good because it gave people an excuse not to have to go out. Right.
I think
some people are hating it. And economically, it sucked, but.
Economically,
you can't deny that, but it no matter what caused it, it would have sucked.
Right. Economically, it just sucked for a lot of small businesses, man. And I just like that. That is the biggest thing.
So would have a Great Depression sucked for them too. But locking down wouldn't be necessary during a Great Depression, only during a pandemic. But they both suck.
That's true. They both suck.
Yeah.
What doesn't suck is wellness, Dougie. Did you know that wellness doesn't suck?
Yeah. Hey, listen, before we get into that, I was driving home the other day and I heard the Austin Lounge Lizards, and they have a song that it basically goes, worse things have happened. Okay. When you look through history, worse things have happened.
Yes, they have. I will have to say that, we're lucky living in the environment that we are and in the time that we are, only because of the fact that, look, we've got 3 vaccines out there right now. I think 4. 3 vaccines. They're coming out with new therapeutics every day. They've got a mixture of drugs now that is curing people of COVID, or not curing people of COVID, but making sure that they don't end up in the hospital. So this year has been a hyper fast scientific experiments with all kinds of different stuff and going on, and I've loosened up my quote, quasi hardline, this is not gonna work, but it is what it is. I mean, some of us acted one way, some of us acted the other way. I have no shame in the way I act, and I have no shame in the way that I feel about it. I've talked to Dougie, a billion ways out of Sunday, when I'm getting my vaccine and how I'm getting my vaccine, and that's just the way it is. I mean, some people are waiting for their vaccine and they don't care which one they get. I happen to care which one I get, and I'm 60. I'm below the threshold, but I mean, I don't have.
Only in this state.
Yeah, I'm relatively healthy, and I just don't have a lot of risk factors. So I want to make sure that somebody else gets their shot before I get my shot.
Oh,
Because
such a martyr. God
I
bless
am.
you.
I'll die for you, Dougie. I'll die for you, Dougie.
Right on. But in the
But I want
meantime, keep yourself healthy, will you?
Yeah, and the one way you can keep yourself healthy is to weed, feed, and seed. And this is the section that I call "In the Pit of Your Stomach." And in the pit of my stomach is about Plexus. And Plexus, what is Plexus? Well, Plexus is the company that I work for. Plexus is my side hustle. And what it is a plant-based and probiotics company that has been around for quite a while now, and they have a brand or a line of products that is incredible and has helped me out since the coronavirus has happened. And believe me, my wife has lost 20 pounds. It was incredible. She's down 20 freaking pounds, and she's down more inches than she is in pounds. Believe me, she's gone from a size 14 to a size 9 in about a year. It's incredible what watching your diet, taking the right supplements that you need, because if you eat right, you won't need any supplements. But as you get older, your body starts using other stuff a little bit more. And probiotics is hot right now. Plant-based supplements are hot right now. And I happen to have what they call the weed, feed, and seed formula. And if you want to know what weed, feed, and seed formula is, I don't have it memorized, but I'm going to I'm going to read it to you. Weed out the unwanted microbes because you have a flora, a garden in your gut, let's say, okay,
Yes,
that you have every day. With a general cleansing power. And when I'm talking about cleansing, I'm not talking about that 50-year-old thing that you have to do and drink the GAC and go get a colonoscopy. Not that kind of cleansing. I use what they call BioCleanse. And BioCleanse gets the unwanted intestinal yeast with the support of probiotics. It is your weed. Is the first thing that you do is you weed out your system. And then what you do is you go and you seed your system. You seed your system when you get rid of all that yeast or the over yeast that you have, and you get rid of all the old bacteria that you have in your gut. What you want to do is you want to be able to seed with the ProBio 5. This is the probiotic that I take every night, ProBio 5. It is incredible. What it does is it's the beneficial microbes that are the probiotic strain that is found in your gut. It will just reseed everything, and you're just going to feel like $1 million after you take this stuff for about. I took it for about 14 days before I started feeling a real great experience. And then on top of that off, what we do is we feed ourselves with what they call Slim. This is Plexus Slim. I got what they call the HC, which is the hunger control, which keeps my sugar in balance, so I'm not hitting the candy bowl in front of my office every day, and I don't have to have cookies and milk every time after I have a meal or something like that. And believe me, I have lost 19 pounds. I'm down from 129 to about 229 to about 217 right now. I'm sitting there at a little plateau because I'm not doing too much for exercise or anymore right now. But believe me, it's something that you should try right now. I've got a special going on. I can get you signed up for this stuff for $1 for a membership, and then you can go in and you can get a triplex system, which is these 3 products right here, for about $110. And let me tell you, it is a fantastic product if you are looking for something to get your gut and your brain back into unison and start talking about getting yourself well, because I believe truly in my heart that this has helped me and my immune system fight off whatever we got going on around here, not only with the lockdown and the masks and everything, but this is barely, I truly believe that Plexus has helped me in that. So drop me a line at info@gmail.com if you'd like to know a little more. And I will be doing more on this every week. That's in the pit of my stomach moment, so say. And I do that did I do that well? I'm trying to work on that more. So
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well,
anyhow,
it's there are some interesting facts about your body's biome.
mm-hmm.
I forget the human bodies. I forget what it's got. 22,000 genes, something like that. 40,000
Yeah,
genes.
yeah,
40,000.
and it
I
has
forget. But the biome in your stomach and intestines have millions of genes.
trillions.
Oh, there's trillions of bacteria, but they have millions of
Yeah,
genes.
yeah, trillions of bacteria and millions of genes in those bacteria. And
Yeah.
believe me, there is a conversation that's going on between your gut and your brain, and your gut is telling your brain exactly what to do because of the bacteria that interacts between your gut and your blood system and and all those chemicals, that the chemical reaction. We're just a big chemical. We're a big reactor is what we are. And without that balance in there, your brain's going to tell your body that it either needs sugar, it needs food, it needs water, it needs this, it needs that. And sometimes it gets programmed into the stuff that you just don't need.
Well, it
And
has a lot to do with nutrient uptake
yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good for people that need to get on some kind of a system to get them on the right track. And I mean, this is a good start for them. So
Yeah.
that's how we do. So on to community and unity, man. How you doing, bro?
Good.
Yeah, I think we're
Good.
getting into into a season here where I think that a lot of people are going to start coming out of their shells, and we're going to have to understand and get
I know
people
it feels kind of weird.
back into the
Yeah.
fray.
Yeah. Yeah. Like interacting with people and stuff.
Yeah.
But what I found is even people I haven't seen in a year, I recognize them with their masks on, which is a good thing. It took a few minutes. I gotta admit Sally didn't have her mask on yesterday, but Lou did, and it took me a minute or two because he had a big, he had like a fishing hat on, and his eyes were covered, he had glasses and the mask, and all he saw was mustache coming out the sides.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Lou. But who else was there? Eddie was there.
Yeah, I know that there was a bunch of people there. I'm
sad.
I'm really kind of sad
surprised,
that
but I didn't see him. I wasn't looking around for people. I didn't see him. All of a sudden, he came walking across the patio, and he sat down and chatted for a while. That was nice.
Yeah,
I'm really sad.
I'm really sad that I missed it, but with the mom thing, the mom unit here, and the me golfing on Saturday when I should have probably been in the yard. I had to catch up with that on Sunday.
Yeah, but it's still I was kind of anxious about just being out in public and interacting with people, and I gotta admit it's it was nice talking. Like it just started pouring. It's like it's talking again is great.
Yeah.
But at first I was a little apprehensive. I was kind of like shy, like almost standoffish, I guess.
Yeah. We're social people, man. We got to have that interaction, dude. It's just like when we what was it? Probably it's been about 6 weeks now. So it's the first time me and you handshook. I mean, we actually handshook, and it was just like we handshook, and then since then
we looked around to see if there's any cameras and drones.
And since then we've been hugging. So I mean, we need that contact. I mean, it really does. I mean, there's something to touch and contact and communication and eye contact and just seeing, me not seeing people's mouths are just freaking me out, dude. I mean, if I had any bitch about anything about what's been going on, it's that I can't see people's whole face. And it's just like, to me, the mouth says everything. It's just either a smile or a frown or
I know.
whatever.
I've told people a lot of times, like, at stores and things, where, like I was somewhere out in the woods, like in Portola Valley, and I needed a little piece of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an Ace there, and I went to that Ace. They were open, and the guy said, thanks for stopping. This was probably 8 months ago. I looked at him and I said, thanks for stopping by. I said, thanks for being here. And I looked at him and said, you can't see it, but there's a smile under this mask. You know what I mean? It's like you may not know it. Maybe you can't tell by my eyes, but I'm smiling at you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having your store open.
Yeah, exactly.
At this crazy time, because you helped me out.
Yeah. And I think we're going to have to all kind of heal a little bit, because we've all been frustrated with each other. We've all been locked up for quite a while. Some of us more than others. Me not so much. I mean, like I said, I went back to work a couple of weeks after the first lockdown, and I've kind of been, like I said, I live and breathe free. So I've been a little bit freer than other people. So I got to understand that some people are just getting out and just reaching out and just dipping their toes in the water and see where it goes. And God, if there's anything that I can say with the community and unity segment of this show, is just when you come back out, and I'm, Josh, I know that you're totally against this whole thing and you think this whole thing is a hoax and everything, but believe me, be understanding. Most people just don't have the faith that you have. Most people just don't have the views that you have, but we love you, brother.
And I wish it was a hoax, because I can't wait for the day when all those dead people jump out of the closet and say, "Ha, just fooled."
Just fooling. Yeah. But no, he doesn't think it's a hoax. He just thinks a lot of things are ridiculous. But
it's a government media hype.
But in that same breath, we got to give people a break, and just because that we got off the beaten track, or some of us have went one way and some of us have went the other way, we're all going to the same place. We're all going to the same place. Whether you believe we're going to heaven or whether you believe we're just going to be worm dirt, we're all going to the same place. We're just on different buses, and we're going to have to. We're going to have to heal out.
It's part of being a member of society. Sometimes it's your turn in the barrel, and I don't know if people know what that means, but that's not a pleasant thing. It has to do with old sailing ships. And that's all there is to it. Everybody got their turn in the barrel, so it was fair to everybody, right? So everybody got reamed in the last year. Okay. We all got reamed equally, and some people may have suffered more than others because of their economic situation, their business situation.
Some people
they may feel that it was unfair. I agree completely with restaurant owners, bar owners, bowling alley owners, all those people that are suffering, and my answer to that is they should be subsidized so that they can stay in business and not feel an injury for this.
Absolutely.
Not that they should be open so they could not be in business, because nobody's going to go there anyway, or the few people that do go there, aren't going to keep them open.
Right.
That's a problem. Even if like around here, what do you think if they opened everything up right now? Like you said at the diner, there wasn't people. There wasn't standing room only.
No, exactly. There wasn't a line out the door, and we were there at like 8:30 in the morning. So that was like power hour, for the diner. So there was no line out the door waiting.
So even if everything was opened, there was no shutdown.
Right.
And people had this conscientious thing of, we've got to stay away because it's dangerous out there, right?
Yeah.
Would all these businesses still been able to survive, or were they still going there anyway at 25%? I think a lot of them still would have folded anyway. So opening up wasn't the answer. What the answer was is subsidizing them until this can pass and they can be back in full business or find something else to do.
Right.
I mean, in all fairness.
In all fairness.
In all fairness. Because as a member of society, I hate to see these people suffering.
Yeah.
But I also don't think the answer is ignoring the government.
Yeah, I've hated to see it. Now, that's where we split sides there. But anyway,
well, listen, somebody's got to be an authority. How about when your kids were growing up and you told them, no, you can't put your hand on the hot stove
because I'm the dictator. That's why.
That's right. Because you're right. Because it was for their own good.
You come into this house and you're in a communist country.
There you go. Well, like my dad used to say, you all get a vote, but my vote counts as 7.
Anyhow, man, we're running up on that time. We got about 30 seconds left to the hour, man, and it just flies by, man. It just flies by. But yeah, that is our Communities Unity segment, and we're looking for sponsors for anybody who wants to sponsor any of these segments. If you want to drop us a line, just drop us a line, give us a comment or something like that. We'll get back to you really soon, and we'll get you on there. We'll sponsor you. You can sponsor a segment, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. That'll be great. But this is Bruce the Weather Soul, DJ Dougie. You can get us on anchor.fm/the Weather Soul podcast. You can find us here on WSL and the Weathered Soul Liberty Network on YouTube, also on Facebook every week. And I promise you, if you guys send us some comments, just like you did last week, and wish Dougie a happy birthday, or tell me that I suck at whatever I do, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just give us something that makes us know that we're alive. And this is where I tell Dougie, man, you're the number one guy in this show, man. I love you. Thank you for being my podcast partner, man, and my co-host. I just love it every time that we can banter back and forth. This is two old guys telling you to get the hell off of our grass. And for next week, we'll see you next Monday. See you later, man. See you guys.
5 stars.
5 stars. Bye.